formula. What this says is x equals negative b plus or minus, there's two signs there, plus or minus, the square root of b squared minus 4ac. And all of that gets divided by 2a. Okay, the a, b, and c are coming from when we have our quadratic equations. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Right? We're actually going to get these values from this equation and fill them in this formula. Does everybody see that? Okay. The discriminant. Everybody say discriminant. Discriminant. The discriminant of a polynomial, okay, that's the y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, is a function of its coefficients. Okay, so the numbers before the ax squared and the b, which gives information about the nature of its roots. Roots are, what are the other words we use? X-intercept. What is another word we use? Zero. And what's the one we learned yesterday? Good, solution. So the discriminant is going to give us information about those zeros. Okay, the definition. The discriminant of the quadratic formula is the b squared minus 4ac part. If we look back at our formula, b squared minus 4ac is this part right here. So what's under the square root sign, that's called our discriminant. So instead of saying the number under the discriminant, the number under the square root every time, I'm just going to say what's the discriminant. And then you'll tell me what number that reduces to. Does that make sense? Okay. Here's our first problem. So go ahead and write this down. Write your A, B, and C over to the left because we're going to figure out what those are, and then copy your quadratic formula. Okay, now let's look at this. Okay, if I've got ax squared, okay, so I've got ax squared plus bx plus c, right? And I have it set equal to 0 or y, right? Does everybody see that? So it's set up in the right form. So now all I have to do is pick those numbers. So what was the value of a here? 1. What was the value of b?
5.
And what is the value of c?
4.
Good. Okay, so now all we have to do is fill it in. So x equals negative 5 plus or minus, and you'll see, we'll write this up in a minute when I get there, square root of 5 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, and times c, which is 4. Okay, and then we're going to put our big divide line under everything, and we're going to do 2 times 1. You see that? Okay, so now all we have to do from here is reduce. So x equals negative 5 plus or minus the square root. 5 squared is 25 minus 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. All over 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, and then I'm going to go again. X equals negative 5 plus or minus the square root. 25 minus 16, 9, all over 2. Okay. Okay, so x equals negative 5 plus or minus 3 all over 2. Okay, there is a lot of steps. Square root of 9 is 3, right? Okay, now what happens? Okay, now that we get here, right? We've reduced it as far as we can go with that plus or minus. What that plus or minus means, okay, literally what it says, plus or minus. So we're going to write the first one with plus, so I'm going to say x equals negative 5 plus 3 divided by 2. The second one's going to say x equals negative 5 minus 3 divided by 2. And then we're going to work them out. X equals negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2 divided by 2 equals negative 1. So x equals negative 1 here. And over here, x equals, what's negative 5 minus 3?
Negative 8.
Negative 8 divided by 2. So x equals negative 4. Do you see that? Okay, it's a lot of steps, but was it hard? No, you're going to start with that formula, and that formula is actually on your formula chart. Okay? So you're going to start with that formula. You've got to get everything set equal to y or 0. Pick your a, b, and c, and then just fill it in and go through the steps. All right? And just to show you that it's the same way that when we factor it, I want you to get your calculator. Okay, so when we have our calculator, let's go to our graph just like we did before. And then we're going to put in, we've got x squared plus 5x plus 4. Right? And what are we looking for? The zeros. So menu, analyze the 0. Go to the left and right. And do it again. Were the answers negative 4 and negative 1? Yes. Okay, now here's the deal. Some of the questions are going to say, what are the solutions? Negative 1, x equals negative 4, right? If I ask you what is the discriminant, that's this number here. The number under the square root, remember? Okay, because it was actually, we started here, right? We worked it down. We worked it down. And our discriminant comes out to 9. So if I ask you what's a discriminant, I'm asking you for the 9. If I'm asking you for the solutions, I'm asking you for the negative 1 and negative 4. Does that make sense? Okay, let's try another one. Ready? What is my A value? 1. What is my B value? Negative 6. Good. What is my C value? 9. My quadratic formula is x equals what? Negative. What's the formula? Negative? Negative B. Plus or minus square roots of b squared all over 2a. I want you writing that every time. Every single time I want you to write that. Okay? Because I want to make sure that you're filling it in where it needs to go and you're not leaving numbers off. So I've got x equals negative times negative 6 plus or minus the square root of negative 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 9, all divided by 2 times 1.
Square root.
Well, we're just going to simplify it all. We're going to do it just one step at a time, though. So the first one we've got negative 6 is, what is this? Positive 6. So 6 plus or minus the square root, and then we're going to simplify both of these. Negative 6 squared is positive 36. Negative times negative is positive, right? So it's 36 minus 36. Good. All over 2.
So the discriminant was 0.
Yep. So I'm going to have x equals 6 plus or minus the square root of 0 all over 2, which comes out x equals 6 plus or minus 0 divided by 2, right? So then I've got x equals 6 plus 0 divided by 2, and x equals 6 minus 0 divided by 2. So x equals 6 plus 0 is 6 divided by 2, so x equals 6 minus 0 is 6 over 2, so x equals 3. How many answers are there? How many solutions are there? 1. They're the same number, right? So you really only need to write one of them. The discriminant was 0. Now, if I only have one solution, what does that mean?
It goes up, touches the line, goes down.
What touches the line?
The vertex.
The vertex. This means the vertex is on the x-axis, right? Okay? No, it's not all real numbers. There's one solution. It can't be all solutions. It can only be 0, 1, or 2. All right? Let's try another one.
I'll have room on my papers.
Copy this one down. Okay, what's wrong with this one? Right. Okay, the 7's on the other side. Can we write our A, B, and C if it's like that? No, we got to fix it first. So what do y'all want to do? Good. Subtract 7 from both sides. Minus 7 from over here. So my new equation is equals 0. Good. So my A is?
1.
My B is?
Minus 7.
Minus 6. And C is? My quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I want you guys to try and work this out, and then we're going to go over it. Okay, so my next step here, I fill it in. What should my next step say?
X plus 6.
What?
No.
X equals 6
6
plus or minus
square root of
36 plus 28
plus 28. Good. Two negatives multiplying make a positive, right?
over 28.
All over 2. So I've got x equals
6 plus or minus 64.
square root of
64 over 2.
all over 2.
And then X equals 6 plus or minus square.
Not square root of 8, 8. Once you find the square root, you got to lose the sign, right? Okay, so all over 8. So what was my discriminant? 64. It's under the square root, right? Okay,
So the first one would be X equals
6 plus 8.
8 divided by 2
And the next one is 6.
minus 8 divided by
Okay, 6 plus 8 is
14.
14. X equals, so x equals, did you check it, or not negative 7, negative 1, right? Did you check it in your calculator? Okay, do y'all want to check it real quick? If you check it in the calculator, you've got to put in this. You can't put in the original because it's got to be set equal to y or equal to 0, right? So if I put in x squared minus 6x minus 7, x squared minus 6x, was it minus 7? So menu, analyze 0. So I've got negative 1. And 7. Did I do it right? Perfect. Okay? So make sure you're always checking when you're in here. Make sure you're making sure that they're right, alright? Alright, alright, alright? Okay. Write this one down. Write this one down. Okay, what's wrong with this one?
I just put
Just
0.
subtract 16.
Good, I have to subtract 16, right? So my new equation is
X squared minus
equals 0, right? So what was my A value? What was my V value? 0. Good. And what's my C value? Good, because we could rewrite this x squared plus 0x minus 16 equals 0, right? So if you're missing one, it's got to be 0. So my formula was x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Go ahead and work that out. Alright, so I've got x equals negative 0 plus or minus square root all over. So x equals not negative 0 anymore. 0 plus or minus square root.
Why is it negative?
Does it matter?
It's 0.
0 and then what?
Plus 64
All over.
all over 2.
So x equals
0 plus minus
square root of 64 all over 2. So x equals
0 plus 8.
plus or minus 8 all over 2. What was my discriminant? 64. Okay, so I've got x equals 0 plus 8 divided by 2. X equals 0 minus 8 divided by 2. So this one is x equals 8 divided by 2, which is 4. X equals negative 8 divided by 2, which is negative 4. Everybody good? You want to try one more? No, y'all think y'all got it? Okay, good.